The United States operates the most formidable air force in human history, anchored by 20 B-2 Spirit stealth bombers, machines so advanced that a single unit costs $2 billion and over $130,000 per hour just to keep in the sky. These bombers carry the GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator, the most destructive conventional bunker buster ever conceived. In a series of high-stakes missions during the current 2026 conflict, the US deployed these stealth giants to the Isvahan missile base in Iran. We saw two separate waves of B-2s dropping 15-ton bombs designed to punch through rock and concrete, followed immediately by F-35 stealth fighters targeting tunnel entrances to seal the complex. This specific base has now been hit 3 separate times across 2 different wars, once in June 2025 and twice more in the past week alone. Yet, only 48 hours after the latest B-2 strike, the IRGC Aerospace Force was observed launching ballistic missiles from that very same location. This isn't just a story about one resilient base, it reveals a fundamental flaw in the American strategy. Today, we are going deep into the physics, engineering, and missile city doctrines that allow Iran's infrastructure to survive the world's most powerful weapons. To understand why Isfahan is still breathing, we have to look at the GBU-57 itself. At over 20 feet long and weighing 30,000 pounds, this weapon is nearly as heavy as a fully armed F-16 fighter jet. It uses a high-performance steel alloy casing and a smart fuse that detects air gaps and structural density, allowing it to pass through ceilings before detonating to maximize internal pressure. While the Air Force claims a penetration depth of 60 meters or 200 feet of reinforced concrete, the reality on the ground in Isfahan is proving much more complicated. Iran's missile cities began in 1984 as simple caves, but over 40 years they have evolved into sophisticated underground fortresses. General Amir Ali Hajizadeh has claimed some facilities sit 500 meters below the surface. Even if that number is inflated for propaganda, many critical sites are carved into solid granite at depths of 80 to 100 meters. The physics here are brutal. Standard GBU-57s are rated against concrete with 5,000 psi of compressive strength, but Iranian engineers have developed smart, high-strength concrete exceeding 30,000 psi. When you combine that with the natural protection of a granite mountain, the math for a conventional kill simply disappears. Furthermore, satellite imagery from March 2025 and early 2026 shows these aren't just storage rooms, they are fully self-contained ecosystems with rail systems, power plants, and climate control. In the 12-day war of June 2025, the Alma Research Center confirmed that while surface structures were leveled, the underground tunnels remained operational. By January 2026, Iran had already rebuilt the above-ground logistics hubs that were destroyed months prior. This cycle of destroy and rebuild shows that hitting the surface is a temporary inconvenience, not a permanent solution. The F-35 strikes on tunnel entrances are intended to trap the launchers inside, but the IRGC has adapted with a mosaic doctrine. They have secondary shafts, alternative exits, and in some cases they have been seen backfilling their own entrances with soil to create a soft buffer against impact, before clearing them with heavy machinery once the bombers leave. But the biggest challenge for the US and Israel right now isn't just the depth, it's dispersal. As of March 2026, analysts have identified a dispersal doctrine, where mobile transporter erector launchers, or TELs, are moved out of the fixed bases and hidden in urban industrial zones, forests, and civilian shipping yards. Even with the advanced sensors of the F-35 and global satellite coverage, tracking hundreds of individual trucks across thousands of square kilometers is the most difficult targeting problem in modern warfare. While the IDF claims to have neutralized 90% of Iran's fixed missile capability, that remaining 10% still represents dozens of high-speed missiles, like the Fatah hypersonic glide vehicle or the Khorramshahr 4. Each one of these carries a 1,500-kilogram warhead capable of catastrophic damage. The Isfahan launch 2 days ago proves that the 90% degraded figure might be overly optimistic. If a base can survive 2 waves of B-2 bombers and still put birds in the air, the underlying capability is still very much alive. This conflict is being watched closely by China, Russia, and North Korea as a test case for whether deep hardened sites can truly be defeated by conventional means. For now, the answer seems to be that you can disrupt the logistics and slow the rate of fire, but as long as the tunnels hold, the threat remains. The Undersecretary of Defense for Research and Engineering is already accelerating the development of a next-generation penetrator to succeed the MOP, with deliveries expected in 2028. But for the 2026 season of this war, the Battle of Isvahan remains a stalemate of engineering versus explosives. If this deep dive into the technology of the current conflict helped you see past the headlines, make sure to share this video and drop your thoughts on the future of bunker buster warfare in the comments. I will be back with more updates as the situation evolves.